Okay, let's talk about the Nafs because this was brought up a lot. The Nafs, when it comes to narcissism, the Nafs. I got a lot of DMs. The comment was left a lot under the last 3 videos, and you guys are absolutely correct. Somebody asked me then, then what is narcissism if it's not a personality disorder, if it's not a mental disorder? In Islam, we believe in what is called a spiritual heart. We're not talking about the organ, right? We're not talking about your physical heart that's pumping blood through your body. We're talking about the spiritual heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes reference to the heart, over 130 times in the Quran. He's not talking about this heart. He's talking about your spiritual heart. This is the epicenter of your being, of who you are. This heart of yours is going to be the thing that drives you to good or drives you to bad. And there is nothing about you. When we're talking about mental health, physical health, there's nothing that should take priority as far as health over the heart, the spiritual heart and the health of the spiritual heart. Islam is a very psychologically sound religion. And the spiritual heart, which is so beautiful, it's so mind-blowing. I probably will do, actually. I think I will do a series on the spiritual heart and understanding how does it become diseased. And, this is, guys, the spiritual heart is the place where you can literally cleanse yourself of envy, hatred, resentment, anger, bitterness, being uncontent with, let's say, the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, things that you didn't get in your life that you wanted, or things that all these things are diseases of the heart. They're diseases of the heart. The more you purify your heart, the more you are striving and likely going to reach your higher self. And yes, in Islam, guys, there are 3 levels of nafs. 3 levels of nafs, so 3 levels of self. Let's get into them. When we were talking about at what level of self is a narcissist operating at. By the way, again, be careful who you call a narcissist and who you think is a narcissist. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has vision into the heart of people. There was comments, I have a narcissist, but he prays and he fasts and you go to you guys, I'll explain it as we go through the levels of nafs. The amara, that's the lowest level of self. This is a level of self where you have no control. You are completely guided by and controlled by, your ego is your master. Your ego, your lust, your temptation is your master. There's not even a sense of guilt. There's not even a sense of conscience when you do wrong to self-correct. You don't even have that feeling inside of you like, that wasn't right what I did, or I shouldn't have hurt that person, or, I went too far, or I transgressed against myself or against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I went too far. They don't feel those emotions, okay? This lowest level of self is where the ego is steering, totally in control. Totally in control. These are the people who see other people. They see people and they rate them based on who they believe. And it's a hierarchy. They have a system of hierarchy in their minds. And these are the people who will bring others down. These are the people, guys, they don't even want to do good. Like, you know how you want to give? You know how you want to help someone? You know how you want to? They don't have it. They don't care. They don't care. They don't think about, like, how am I going to make the world a better place? How could I be a better person, a better child to my parents, a better sibling to my siblings, a better spouse? They don't think about these things because they think they are the best. There's no self-correcting. There's no growth at this level. This is the level you do not want to get at. You do not want to be. These are very highly narcissistic people, if not fully narcissistic people. And in Islam, we believe that every time you sin, a black dot is placed on your heart. your spiritual heart, of course, not your real heart, your spiritual heart. The more you transgress, the more diseased your heart becomes, okay? A vicious cycle, okay? Think of it like that. When we talk about the sealing of the heart, I remember growing up when I would, like, when I'd read the Quran, I really, really struggled with that. I remember having so many conversations with people asking, why would Allah seal anyone's heart though? Like, they don't have a chance. No, as you get, inshallah, as you dive into this more, you'll understand. These people's hearts get sealed because they have transgressed to the point they no longer feel guilt. They have no longer have a think of Pharaoh. Think of the Pharaoh. Think of the most evil. I can think of somebody very, very evil right now. Can you guys think of somebody? You guys know who I'm talking about? A psychopath who's running an entire country and massacring people like that. That's somebody who I would assume, Allahu A'lam, I'm assuming, somebody who Allah has sealed their heart. There is no hope. And that heart is sealed so that they continue to transgress because Allah is giving them the opportunity. Yallah, take it as far as you want. I'm only going to let you continue. Because there is a Yawm al-Qiyamah. If you read the Quran, Allah says, leave them be. There's people whose hearts I have sealed. And I allow them to stay here and I allow them to do what they do so that they can further in their wrongdoing against themselves and against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that He can further them in their punishment later. Then there is the level called al-lawama, and lawama is, believe it or not, guys, it's where most of us fall into. That's why I say be careful because, guys, we all have narcissistic tendencies and there's people who are going to be lower in those tendencies, people who are going to be higher in those tendencies. So even if you see somebody who prays and fasts, who's highly narcissistic, they're all grouped in here. This is where most of us fall into. So Amara is the lowest self and Lawama is the struggling self, the battling self. That's where most of us fall, right? We feel guilt when we do wrong. We know we do wrong. We self-correct. This is a blaming self. I blame myself. I have a conscience. I know I have wronged myself and I have wronged Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when I transgress, okay? This person self-corrects, this person is striving, this person sins, this person makes mistakes. And I heard a lot of people saying a munafiq, and guys, we need to be careful about who we call kuffars and munafiqeen and all these. These are not titles for us. These are titles for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to assign. We don't have, again, the vision to know who has what in their heart. Okay, so we have to be very, very, very careful when we label people. So a lot of times, you know, people who believe can very much appear like hypocrites, but we all sin differently, and Allahu Alam. But most of us will fall into that middle place where we are battling ourselves, but we are striving, and this is the key. People in that middle self, in that middle level of nafs, are striving for their higher self. We know we can do better and we work towards doing better and we make mistakes and we get up and we try again and again and again for the sake of ourselves and for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then there is the highest self, al-mutma'inna. This is the purest, brightest, most beautiful souls on the planet, okay? This is what, inshallah ya Rab, we want to strive to become, inshallah, inshallah soon, inshallah. Guys, these people they are in command of their ego. They have mastered it. Al-Ghazali, I think, described it once as, hold on. It's your riding beast. It's your riding beast. It doesn't ride you. It doesn't command you. You ride it. You command it. You command that ego, not the other way around. This is the self that is no longer battling itself. It is completely content. It is completely at peace. It has completely surrendered. It finds no hardship in obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His commands. It takes, it finds total peace in the qadr of Allah. Whatever Allah has written for that person's life, they are completely at peace and accepting of it. Their worship comes easy, and they no longer are lured and tempted, and they're just solid. They're just solid. So I hope that explains it, guys.